So good to see all of you. Gerd and I, this is the third time that we are trying this, so we are probably the most skilled in these types of conversations, right?
You are definitely, indeed. It is just my third time. You must be at about 100, isn't it?
I think more.
I counted that we did these over the Skype interviews, and I think that I have done personally 72 during the pandemic. Oh, wow. And actually, we counted yesterday, I think, me and Henrik, and I think I personally have done more than 780 interviews since we started.
Wow!
So that, I mean, it's quite amazing the journey we've been on. But it's nothing compared to you guys, because you are the ones that make things happen. And Gerd, I know you since you were introduced to me by English Benelux, and Matt, you got on my radar from our friend Kim. Because he knows ABG. So before we get into the presentations that I know that we are eager to get started because we have a very dense program, I think we need to just learn a little bit, who are you two? Maybe Matt, can you talk a little bit who you are as a person? I mean, I was just wondering about your photo on your LinkedIn profile. Are you an entertainer, or you just need to update the photo, or what is it?
Yeah, definitely not an entertainer. I've been called many things, but not an entertainer. So I'm Matt Burton. I'm the global sales director for ABG. So I'm responsible for all things commercial worldwide. You asked me about a little bit about me as a person, and behind me I've got a poster of some mountain biking stuff. I love to ride my bike when I'm not stuck in my home office. But I've known Gert for many years as well, and we've worked together on a lot of promotional joint projects and also joint customer installations, which we'll obviously get onto later on in the presentation as well.
Definitely. And Gert, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit too?
Yes, Geert van Damme. I'm the managing director of CERM, and CERM makes a MIS software, which is kind of small ERP dedicated for the label industry. And in that perspective, we have made interfaces out of our software to production equipment, and ABG is one of our, let's say, most interesting partners in the finishing world.
Watch out, there could be competitors watching this episode too.
One of the most. Wow.
Okay, one of the most. Okay. I mean, one of the wonderful things about this industry is that we can be fierceful competitors, but most people are still friends. And I think that is one of the wonderful aspects of this industry, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody comes together afterwards, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. The way that, just for the audience to know, the way that we have planned this session is basically that Matt and his team has made a wonderful video, actually, that is the first part of this session. And then Gerd and I will be introduced by Matt, and then we will have a little Q&A, because before we go into that, Matt, why is Gerd important in your product presentation?
Well, it's very important for us to have integrated solutions. So obviously, finishing is one component of the printing process, obviously both in commercial and in the labels and packaging world. But in labels and packaging, it's very, very important for our customers to have seamless integrated solutions to enable them to make the most out of their investments and lumps of metal, if you like, that they buy from people like me.
So he is bridging, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, what I suggest you to do is now, if you turn on your sound and camera, and then I will fire up the video, and then we will meet each other after the video. So I look forward to see that, and I look forward to talk to you in a moment, Gerd.
Welcome to ABG HQ here in Yorkshire in the UK. Thank you to the team at Inkish for inviting us to participate in today's event. I am Matt Burton, I'm the Global Sales Director for ABG. Today we're here to talk to you about a topic that we're passionate about, automation. In particular, the growth of automation in relation to finishing and converting. Automation is a growth enabler and brings our customers better margins. It has been one of the main factors behind the success of ABG as a business and our continued growth. In fact, at ABG we have never been busier, and automation has contributed to our bumper order books. So thank you to all our customers and partners for their continued support. Today we're here to talk to you about why automation is important to our customers, what is driving the requirement to automate in the label market, what ABG can offer in terms of automated solutions, and finally the importance of integration to software systems such as MIS and ERP. We'll hear from our customers and industry experts throughout this presentation, which I hope you will enjoy and find of interest. There'll be 2 live Q&A sessions, one midway through the presentation and one at the end of the presentation, and we'll endeavour to answer all of your questions at this time. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the ABG Group. Automation is all around us, whether it's e-shopping or automated warehouses or the development of self-driving cars. Along with the environmental challenges we face as a species, automation will probably pose one of the biggest challenges to our way of living today, with AI and automated workers replacing manual processes conducted by humans. We will need to find a way to manage this transition to avoid mass unemployment, and perhaps if managed the right way, can provide more free time to billions of people around the world. The label and narrow web market is incredibly innovative. Most of our best ideas have come from our customers. Automation is everywhere in our market. It can be seen in the order intake systems and ERP and MIS systems that exist on the front end. It can be seen in digital press technology and also in laser finishing machines and also automatic packaging machinery. I tell my friends that in the production of labels, people use finely tuned lasers to cut paper. They simply don't believe me. They tell me, I thought you sold desktop printers. But when I explain to them how high-tech our industry is, they are truly amazed. So what's driving the demand in automation? One of the major reasons is the requirement for shorter run lengths and shorter lead times driven by brands and retailers. Another reason is the increasing efficiency of digital press technology. These presses can change jobs on the fly and now run at very high speeds. Therefore, automation is required downstream in the pre-press to feed them and upstream in the finishing converting to keep up with the efficiencies of these presses. There are many other factors which we will explore during this presentation. So now let's hear from one of our converters and hear their perspective on the importance of automation. I caught up with Steve Baker, the MD of Baker Labels, for a chat.
Well, automation nowadays, I think, you know, we're into the the millennial era of everything's got to be faster, fastest. You know, it's just a continuous wheel that we're running on now. So anything that we can do that will speed up the process, reduce the repetitive tasks, you know, as we're going through, makes a massive difference. And that's, as a business, that's what we need for the future. You know, I think a key thing with automation that often gets overlooked as well is that you know, our staff are probably the most they are the most important element and probably the most expensive element in the business. And yeah, paying somebody to continuously do the same job over and over again is not the best use of a resource. So if we can automate that task, not only does it speed up that task, but it frees up that person. So that means you gain the extra skill and the expertise of someone to be able to be a bit more free thinking and you know, be able to develop, you know, and help the business, you know. So that does make a big difference. Equally, I think, you know, again, you know, the more you can automate a process, the more you can refine a process, because you're eliminating the silly errors that might creep in by by it being handled, or, you know, this guy does it this way, this guy does it that way. You know, if you're you know, once you get that full automation, you can actually say, well, you know, we can now measure this. We can look to put the improvements in, and the improvements then become you know, they're there. They're not well, you know, when Dave does it, he does it incredibly well and fast, but when Joe does it, maybe it's not quite so quick. You know, the automation, it just becomes quicker and quicker, and you can tweak the elements, you can add different routes to it. So you know, it's of vital importance for you know, for any business. It doesn't have to necessarily be a manufacturing business. It literally is any business. You know, the technology is out there, and you know, you're a fool if you're not looking at it, or you're not moving with it. So yeah, it's the key buzzword of business, I think. And you know, you have to be on it. It's looking at what do the guys have to do every day or every job. You know, every job you have to set the slitting blades. So manually setting slitting blades, and you know, again, you're down to, well, if somebody's doing it and measuring it with a ruler, you can get, you know, slight inaccuracies there. The automated slitting blade, I can recall when that very first came out, we thought, oh, this is a little bit of a gimmick, it's going to be quite expensive, and what really do we gain by it? But I just wouldn't buy another press without automated slitting now. It's yeah, it makes a massive difference to the speed, the accuracy. It can be performing that process while the operator is doing another task. So that's just the one tiny element, but every job it just speeds it up a little bit. You know, it's and you know, you're getting a good, accurate, consistent finish. So yeah, that's great. I mean, other elements that you know that we use of yours is obviously the turret rewinder. Again, we've got digicons without turrets, and we've got, you know, some with, and again, it suits the job. So it's not automation for automation's sake. It's making sure that when a job suits it, it actually helps. So that really helps out on the longer runs. You know, speeds up things, makes a big difference. you know, going fully digital on the finishing side with the Jet FX has again sort of started to make a difference. We're starting to see the inroads. That I can only see getting better and better as time goes on, which I don't say it will completely eliminate screen or foil blocking, because there's uniquenesses there, but you know, in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years time, where will digital embellishment be? You know, it will make it's going to be making a massive difference, you know, and some serious inroads. So there's all things like that. It's like auto loading of reels, things, you know, there's various bits of you know, of automation that can make a difference. I mean, I know some of the things that you can do that we haven't sort of taken on board yet, you know, with the, you know, using the barcode system that will then automatically load the blades for us and you'll set the blades for us. We haven't gone that far, but we'll keep looking at those items because they will become more and more relevant as the time goes on. As Benny Lauder said, you know, sort of whatever it was, probably 20 years ago now, that everything that can go digital will go digital. I think we're in that same sort of stage of everything that can be automated in the future will be automated. Yeah. It has to happen, you know, it absolutely has to happen. It's not to say that you know, you want a staff just filled with, you know, you want a factory just filled with robots, but it's taking out those inconsistent elements. You know, if it can be done as a repetitive task and it can be automated, it's just gonna get better. So I can see every new piece of equipment that's coming in. Everything we used to look at, you know, to sort of think, you know, okay, what is this? What's the advantages of this new machine? And most of those things we used to look at mechanical improvements. You know, you can maybe you know, get a better consistency with the die cutting, or you know, the flexo head was more stable, or yeah, you could load an Analux roller a bit easier. I don't say that we've peaked on those things, but there's not a lot you can, you know, when you're creating a machine and designing the cutting head, you're not looking for better accuracy of die cutting anymore. You know, you've hit that. So it's either how do you load that die quicker, or how do you then look at the next state, you know, with the laser die cutting, and how does that get improved, and how does that then just remove the die cutting element? I think that's all what we're going to be looking for a lot more in the equipment as it comes along. You know, how does this just do it itself? You know, how do we, you know, go through that? You don't need a 10-year experienced operator to be able to run this piece of kit. You know, it's very straightforward. There's a lot of plug and play on it. Everything's far more reliable, you know, being able to access it remotely. All these elements are, you know, I know technically they're not automation, but they are, you know, automated servicing, where you can do the servicing at night from a remote place when, you know, we're not using the press. It's all going to come, isn't it? You know, so well, it's there already, isn't it? You know, we can see these things. So all of these elements, it's just going to get. It is just going to get better and better, you know, using the QR codes, using RFID, using all these different elements to make our systems. The sort of, you know, yes, it's happening in a printing factory, which we've always sort of seen ourselves as, well, we're just printers, but I think those days are long gone. You know, as the young blood comes into the businesses, they're just not interested in doing the same thing again and again. They want a quicker route. You know, there's a fundamental sort of, I wouldn't say a lazy gene in younger people, but it's a let's not waste our time gene. You know, if you can, you should be able to just click it and it works. So I think it's just going to get, everything's going to get faster, better, you know, slicker, easier to operate, and it's going to be the challenge for you guys. They're going to be the new things that are going to come into machinery that we're going to want. It's going to be, well, why do we have to still do that? Why can't you just make it happen? And I think it is one of those things as well. It's like once your brains click into that, you also go into your own sort of form of automation to think, well, why have I got to do this again? Why isn't there a way that we could make this easier? So it's going to be of vital importance in the future. That it's the businesses, we always have to adapt, and we have to move with the times. Touch wood, we like to think we're quite a successful business as a ABG, but if you sat there now even just for a year and didn't push forward or didn't re-look at your systems, that would very quickly start to drop off. So we have to do it. We're on that treadmill. We can't sit back and think we've made it, because somebody else is going to be coming up your WhatsApp, with vigor. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Steve, thanks very much for that insight. I mean, it's really interesting to hear from you, and really appreciate you giving us your time today. So thank you.
That's all right, mate. Enjoyed it.
At ABG, we're the one-stop shop for finishing and converting needs, whether it's labels, shrink sleeve, or mid-web flexible packaging. We've just heard from Baker Labels as to the importance of automation within their business. Automation has been a core growth enabler for our business and our customers' businesses. Here are a couple of great examples of automation within our portfolio. Take the Vectra Turret Rewinder. With over 20 years of experience and over 2,000 installations, the Vectra has automated the rewind process in the narrow web label industry and become the industry standard for automating the rewind process. This in turn dramatically reduces production times of small roll jobs and enables a single pass process. In addition, ABG have recently launched a range of non-stop unwinders and rewinders, again automating roll changes at either end of the process. Another great example of automation within our portfolio is our automatic slitting technology, which we launched over 10 years ago. This has the capability of reducing the make-ready times on any machine that requires slitting from 10 minutes to 1 minute per job. As we've commented earlier, with a trend towards shorter run lengths and more variants, the auto slitting system has saved our customers a lot of time and money. As we can see, ABG cover all bases, and automation is a key component in all of our product ranges. Now let's take the opportunity to hear from another customer, this time Springfield Solutions, as to why automation is important to their business.
Automation is key to the business, both the brand management and the print side of the business. We've been using CERM, our management information system, in print, and driving the automation through all the different devices on the print shop floor using JDF to automate a number of things, and then feeding back into the CERM system with JMF. That's critical to our business. We also use ESCO, Automation Engine 20, staying on top of that over the years, to automate a lot of the processes and procedures that we do in the brand management area of the business. Without Automation Engine 20 and some of the functionality that that offers, we wouldn't be able to get through the volumes of work that we get through currently today. We strive to stay up on top of all of the different versions of software and the different systems that I mentioned previously. This allows us to bring in new customers, to service those customers the same as we service our existing clients. Quick turnarounds is important to us in both the brand management and the print side of the business, and that's how we win a lot of the business. I think the need for automation is the actual time to get the job through the production cycles. Without the automation, as I mentioned previously, we could not turn around the volume of work that we're currently turning around. I think with CERM and ESCO and the equipment we have on the print shop floor, we could actually take a customer's piece of artwork that's been approved by the customer and have that go all the way through the various systems, untouched by any human, and at the presses ready to print without any human interaction whatsoever. We don't do that, of course, because we stop along various points to do quality checks and steps to ensure that what we're printing is correct first time, so we can deliver on time and full. We've had Fly Vision in since about 2007, 2008. We've upgraded at various times, and with the Fly Vision integration on the SRI, which was introduced into the business maybe about 2.5, 3 years ago, it allows us to do automated blade positioning for cutting various size labels. But not only that, it allows us to ensure that what we are printing is of good quality, and what we're sending out to our customers is without defects, and allows us to continuously improve and get more work in from those clients. Manually inspection still happens on reels below 50 meters. Anything over 50 meters goes through the camera. When you're running something at slow speeds, you can see those defects, but when you're running at speeds of up to 220, 250 meters a minute, you would never see those visibly with your naked eye. The Fly Vision camera inspection system allows you to run at those speeds, so it allows you to get through quite a bit of work in a short period of time and also pick up any defects along the way. I think the automation, as I mentioned earlier, setting things up with JDF, setting up the blades on the SRI, we could also set up the viewing area or the inspection area that's going to be done by the Fly Vision system with JDF, because it knows what's on the label, it knows the label size. So on the older camera inspection systems, for instance on the HSR or on our existing 410, where we have camera inspections as well, we have to manually set those regions or areas up. With the new SRI, it allows us to set that up through JDF, similar to what we were doing previously with setting up the knives. We haven't really linked the cameras to the MIS to the cameras, however. As I mentioned, what we're doing is setting things up by setting the coordinates or setting the viewing areas for the inspection. But we are also setting up an advanced report where we take a PDF and we do a comparison automatically on the first 20 meters of the job. That allows us to set up advanced reports for some of the nutraceutical companies that we currently work with. I think automation will continue to evolve. It needs to. It needs to for Springfield at least. It will allow us to continue to grow and get more jobs through with the existing equipment and existing personnel. Without automation, we would look at getting more equipment and more people in. And we will probably start to do that with the growth we're seeing, but not for the foreseeable future.
Wasn't that just amazing? Matt, are you in any way related family-wise to the owner of APG?
Yes, I am. I'm the nephew and the son.
Okay, that is bad,
helps.
because I wanted to ask you if you wanted to work for English, but that is probably not.
Sorry, no, I've made my bed. I've got to lie in it, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we had to stick with me and Jean, I guess, right?
Well, Matt, that was. I was thinking as we were going along, when you walk into a company, you've clearly got a set of ROI templates and tools, because you basically cutting out processes, and because of that, you kind of justify it. So you must have a whole range of ROI tools that you can put a few numbers in, and all of a sudden, there it is. You can justify this investment you're making.
Yeah, it's very easy on some of the options that we sell, Jean, to do that, definitely. Because we're saving literally hundreds, if not thousands of hours in a year for our customers with some of our processes. And some of the things that we're going to be talking about with Geert in a little while, help make those options even more efficient, and even more automated. So yeah, lots of clever bits of kit that we have in our portfolio, and it saves our customers a lot of time and money.
And I guess COVID has fast-tracked this, because, when I say that, you want less people on the shop floor, less processes and all of that. So
yeah, I think COVID has sort of accelerated in our industry, in the labels and packaging industry. I think it's accelerated the transition to digital and more automated processes, which was already in train. But then all of a sudden, our customer base realizes that they need to be even more flexible, even more responsive, because of the situation that they found themselves in. And that sort of, directly fed back into our order books and into the success of our business over the last year. I think COVID's just accelerated trends that are already in motion.
On its way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have to move on because we have a program. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. But Matt, you said that you want to do an introduction to the Q&A that Geert and I have. I wouldn't say we have rehearsed. We have written forth and back kind of thing. Yeah. So I didn't ask him for what he was having for dinner tonight when you really wanted to talk about MIS systems, right?
Yeah.
So let's get to your introduction, and then Geert and I will take over, right?
Great. So we've just heard from Springfield, which is a great customer for ABG and CERM. And Geert, first of all, thanks very much for joining the
You're
session.
Welcome. Love to be here.
Really, I think it's important for the people on the call to hear from you from an MIS point of view, because I've been talking about all these fancy widgets and time-saving pieces of metal, but as I said before, I think in combination with CERM, we can really offer customers a very integrated and efficient solution, which saves them again a lot of time and money. So I'll hand over to you guys, and I'll back out of this bit. It's above my knowledge level.
I'm not sure about that, but let's dig into it, Geert. Obviously, as you work with MIS and software, and you have a long history in a positive way in this area, maybe it's a stupid question, but I ask it anyway. So why is automation such an important topic for printers and converters, maybe especially these days?
Well, in fact, we heard Steve and Dennis talk, and it is about reducing setup time and reducing waste from one side, and it is increasing the quality by having less defects, and also increasing the repeatability, since in packaging we are talking about repeat. So every time you do something and you are able to improve it for the next time and automating it for the next time, then you will be a winner. Example that Matt gave is, suppose 6 minutes for a slitter that you can save, and we reach now printers with 10,000 slitted jobs a year, which is 60,000 minutes or 1,000 hours saved. That's it.
that is a good argument, right? Dennis Appletoft from the customer video, he speaks about how important automation is, and I'm just thinking that if you look at the old times, the machines were pretty slow, long setup times, everything was it took. We had more time in old times, right? And I was just wondering, if you look at all the new equipment, also some of the things that Matt talked about, I mean, doesn't faster equipment and easier to operate and easier to use equipment, doesn't it kind of eliminates the need for MIS integration into these technologies?
Well, indeed, it is true that Matt was very modest, but they did a big part of the work. But you need a coordinator. For the football team, you need a coach, and even on the field, you need a leader. And in fact, the MIS is fulfilling the role of the backbone, and all the production equipment is just, let's say, attached to that backbone. We know all about orders coming in, about products, about paper being in stock, about tools being available. And in fact, we send out instructions to all of them. We get the feedback, which is also very important, from all of them, and then act accordingly to give it to the next person. So that is the role we have here.
And with I would just think about that. If you look at a printing company, and especially with Springfield that we just saw, all these connections that you see in software, hardware, workflow, it's everything from people to technology to mental things. It's like the digital mindset, basically. How do you as a company support them with these kind of projects?
Yeah. So first of all, I need to thank Springfield for their innovating ideas. Just as Matt said, many of the ideas are coming from customers, and Springfield, are often the first to knock on our door. So the first customer is most of the times a kind of prototype, and then we invest some work in creating the interface and think with all three partners there. But in the end, we use two principles to make it rather easy. First of all, we standardize our software. So every slitter rewinder of ABG that is now installed or hooked onto CERM will be installed in a few minutes of connection, since it is standardized. So our software dedicated to label industry has a large set of such standard integrations to industry partners like ABG. So no expensive tailor-made project. And the second principle is as important, is we try to evolve with our 2 versions per year of our software, so that Springfield will every 6 months also benefit from the other projects that we had. And these 2 principles, standardization and evolution, are for me key for a automated future.
Sorry. It's not COVID-19. It's just coffee in the wrong. You have 2 holes, right?
I don't know. Swing on ring, and I wanted to swing my mask.
Yeah, okay. No, Gert. I understand what you say, and I also recognize that from also commercial print and from flexible and from all industries basically. And I think that these things makes it very apparent that we need to go in that direction. But it also makes it apparent to me that this also creates a market space where customers can now create new types of applications, short runs, mass customization, and different shapes, and all these kind of things. And I was just thinking, how can you help them in that automation process to make sure that you can still do it and still be profitable doing it?
Well, they get more and more profitable because in the same production time, they can produce more. And at the same time, we need to start thinking of factories where the number of jobs will even be bigger than today. We are thinking of 10,000 today, but let's say imagine the 100,000 in the future with, let's say, sometimes individual labels or very personalized labels. So I think we all need to work together to step by step build that future. And I can only advise all involved to step in now, since within 2-3 years, the first movers like Springfield will have a very big advantage.
That makes sense, of course. So basically, standardized software, great products from ABG, and then make sure that it gets to market, because that combination makes people more profitable and can serve new types of markets and products and services. That is like a conclusion, right? Just after this little chat here between you and me, we're going to see a film from made by. She's not made by, but she is the presenter, Floriana Montella. She's going to talk about laser die cutting. I think APG has been in this market for some time, but it's still like new to a lot of people that you can use lasers. As Matt said in his presentation, he's like, if you talk to friends about laser on paper, you say, come on, guys, come on, right? It can't be true. So is CERM, is CERM as a software, is that, are you utilizing those kind of finishing things in how you see the process of your flow?
Yeah, it is a very good example of our, let's say, modest but at the same time important role. So we drive the pre-press automation in creating a step and repeat for a set of labels, and we ask them to create a file for the laser. They create that die cut file, and they put the file in our job folder. The next one is the press. We ask the press to print a job barcode after a job is finished, an identification barcode for a job switch. The third one is the ABG. We already sent the jobs that will be printed today upfront. They can read those die cut layout files and have them in their memory. Then the job runs on the ABG. The barcode scanner from the ABG machine discovers that job chains and switches in their memory immediately to the next laser die cut layout. And in almost no time, you just see a little slow down, not even a stop. They switch to the newest laser. So in fact, we are just the backbone with that job number and that indication and those instructions for pre-press, press, and finishing at the same time. And so that is why it is such a wonderful example.
Last question. Obviously, you and APG has a wonderful collaboration. One of the things, and I would like you to talk about that in a second, but just have a little additional question. I know that we are short on time, but I want to hear it anyway.
No problem.
In our preparation for this presentation, we spoke about how important is that it's not just the finishing, but it's all the processes that are connected to the MIS system, right? But with that in mind, can you just explain how you see the future in how you work with the APG?
Yes, I do. So it all started with one question from one customer to, let's say, drive those slitter knives. And of course, the distances between the slitters are identical to those we sent to pre-press. So that's easy. And that's how the partnership started. But it evolved. And today I have to say that ABG is presenting to us and talking to us about their plans for their future new developments for the coming years. So we are discussing this upfront. We are discussing technical parameters of future machines today. And in fact, we will adapt our software to what machines are capable of. And this is what I would call a true partnerships. And the ones that benefit are our customers, of course.
Sounds great. Thank you very much for the chat, Gert. I would like to talk more to you, but we don't have time.
Okay. Thank you, Matt, for inviting me.
No problem. Thank you, Gert, and thanks, Morten, for being the question master on that section.
I think it's referred to as a microphone holder, isn't it?
So I think we're now going to hear from Floriana Montella, one of my colleagues, about what's driving the increased demand for automation in our market space. So Morten, if you could kindly play the tape, that'd be great.
I will click the tape so it can be run now. Okay, we talk afterwards, right?
Hi. My name is Floriana Montella, and I am the product manager of the DigiLase, the laser die cutting solution from AB Graphic. Today, I'm standing in front of one of our DigiLase machines that is currently in build. Today, I am here to talk to you about how market shifts and behaviors are driving automation in print and finishing, and how this has led to a recent increase in interest in the Digilace technology from AB Graphic. Currently, we have a record order book consisting of more laser than ever before, so thank you to all our customers for their continued support and patronage. Have you bought anything online recently? I bet you have. If we look at the global market, we see that 3.53 trillion US dollar of sales were generated in 2020 from the e-commerce, and that 22% of all retail will be online by 2023. While most of this is B2C, there is also strong growth and predicted future growth of B2B in e-commerce too. COVID has accelerated this transition, and we see companies like Amazon making record profits at this time. Changes to our shopping behaviors are also changing the way some brands and companies buy their print and labels. We are seeing more and more businesses investing in online label printing capabilities to provide short-run label solution to their customers through an online store or shop. These companies specialize in short-run, bespoke label orders, operate on a different model to traditional label printers. First of all, they sell through a website, so there is no need for salespeople to manage the order. They offer no minimum order quantity. They provide very short lead times, like 48 hours delivery and even 24 hours delivery in some cases. Embellishment processes and the material types are limited and standardized. They provide customized labels. They have a requirement to produce a super short run work very efficiently. Here at ABG, we have been developing the laser technology for over 15 years, but we have seen a massive advancement in this technology and workflow, especially in the past 3 years. A lot of these developments have been driven by our customers operating in this super short run space. These companies can deliver a single label either on a roll or as an individual through-cut item. We are seeing more and more businesses investing in online label printing capabilities to provide short-run label solution to their customers through an online store or shop. Embellishment processes and the material types are limited and standardized. They provide customized labels. They have a requirement to produce super short run work very efficiently. Here at ABG, we have been developing the laser technology for over 15 years, but we have seen a massive advancement in this technology and workflow, especially in the past 3 years. Here at ABG, we have been developing the laser technology for over 15 years, but we have seen massive advancements in this technology and workflow, especially in the past 3 years. A lot of these developments have been driven by our customers operating in this super short run space. These companies can deliver a single label either on a roll or as an individual through-cut item. Thank you very much for your time today. I hope I have highlighted how changes in customer behavior and B2B businesses is changing the way labels are produced and purchased, and in turn pushing ABG to develop more and more automated solutions.
Thanks to Flo for that excellent presentation. As we have seen, laser technology is growing due to an increase in demand for automated solutions and the replacement of mechanical dies with the laser. We're also seeing automation take hold in other parts of the print industry in terms of embellishment. When we talk about embellishment in this context, we're referring to spot varnish, tactile varnish and foiling effects, traditionally applied with cold or hot foiling applications. Back in 2013 at IPEX, I remember seeing one of the first Skodix machines, and it was incredible. They had a job with a basketball on, and you could feel the texture of the ball on the sheet. The desire to replace existing embellishment processes, whether it's foiling or tactile varnishing, is increasing, with more and more customers realizing that they can simplify the production of embellished jobs. In the commercial print space, digital embellishment or automated embellishment has been around for a while. In the label market, there are very few options to date. However, I'm certain that we will see new players emerging in this space soon. At ABG, we have our own solution, the DigiJet, which is a module for the Digicon Series 3. This can be used to apply spot varnishes, tactile varnishes and foiling effects, all using inkjet technology. We're seeing an amazing level of interest in the technology, and we now have units in 3 continents and multiple units on order. Customers are starting to realize the benefits of digital embellishment over conventional, whether it's the lack of tools, reduced setup time, minimal waste, or the ability to ship products same day to their customers. Like the laser, digital embellishment cannot tick all the boxes, but will be a strong growth sector in our industry for years to come, driven by the desire to automate. To finish off with, let's take a look at our promotional video of the DigiJet to show you how ABG can facilitate automation of conventional embellishment solutions.
Expanding the range of modules in our Digicon Series 3, the DigiJet opens up a new world of high-quality digital embellishment. From detail foiling to spot coating and tactile raised effects with multiple foils. The DigiJet allows you to offer a range of complex and creative embellishment techniques and variable data and the ability to run multiple foils in one pass on any size print run. Digital embellishment with the DigiJet requires no tooling, which simplifies and reduces setup times, helping you turn around projects quickly and with minimal waste. Available in single bar or dual bar configurations, DigiJet technology means you can precisely adjust the quantity of varnish to easily vary your finish, even allowing you to create tactile warning triangles. Jobs can be automatically changed on the fly, and the DigiJet module can be integrated with workflow and MIS options. Whatever your setup, the DigiJet can be retrofitted to any existing Digicon Series 3, available inline or offline, and in an orientation that suits you. Contact ABG for more information.
Thank you very much for joining us today. We've covered a lot. We've learnt what is driving automation in our industry and why automation is important to label printers and converters. We have seen how ABG can provide automated solutions to provide greater efficiencies and profitability within businesses, as well as unlock new markets such as web to print. At ABG, we're passionate about automation. We have a track record of developing niche automated solutions for the label market. In the future, we will continue to work on automating our solutions further and providing greater levels of integration to MIS systems. If you have any questions or require any additional information, please do not hesitate to reach out. And we want to thank all of our customers for their continued support and patronage over the recent months and years.
Hi, Martin.
We're now going to take...
Bit of a delay on there, I think.
Hello.
Hi.
I think it was a very good presentation you did here. So I must admit, to be honest, that there's a lot of things I need to learn more about ABG. I have at Label Expos and trade shows, I've seen your logo, but I didn't know anybody. Now I know you, so I will get first-hand information next time I see you.
No problem. Anytime, you're more than welcome.
The interesting thing about this is that we have a few moments left before I need to go to the next session, and let me just tell the audience what that is all about. The next one is with Carlos Samarco and also Steve Baker from Baker's Label, talking about the screen value proposition. So that is also, I'm pretty sure that they will show some APG anyway, and I will just send you another invoice for that too. That is no worries. Basically, I think that what we see in these days is that all these digital opportunities with inkjet, digital enhancement, digital laser die cutting, and fits very much the mantra from marketeers that we saw with the Louisa. I don't know if you should see that one. There was a session this morning with Louisa Macinda from South Africa talking about how demand is changing based on COVID is one thing, but also because the technology and the way we communicate is changing things. And this mass customization approach with digital opportunities, it seems that APG is in a very, very nice hotspot for delivering hardware and software solutions that fit that mantra, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think our approach is, I think Steve Baker mentioned it on the interview about everything going digital. And from our perspective, if we're going to continue to be successful as a business and partnering people who are buying digital press technology, the finishing has to be as automated as the press. Otherwise, that investment doesn't make any sense. You end up buying 2 or 3 finishing machines for every press you put in, which means your total cost of ownership for that investment is much higher than it should be. So I think it's all about having that mindset to try and drive automation and digital solutions into the finishing equipment for the future.
I hope I will get an opportunity to learn more from you, and in the future, I'm pretty sure that we have a good connection here. So Absolutely. Next time, I look forward to that. Matt, thank you also to Claire for also being helpful in preparation of this event. So hi to the entire team, and we'll follow up after the week.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Morten. Take care.
You too.